Hey guys, this is episode 4 of the podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Phil.
And today we actually had a guest, the first guest we've had on the show. It's Pops Jake Jarvi.
Yeah, we had Jake online, and we had him talk about his video game history. We had him talk about he used to be a tester, so we kind of delve into the testing business.
Yeah, video game testing, how that wasn't exactly what he thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And then we also talked about why he plays video games and what kind of games he's playing now.
Yeah, and it was real nice for him to stop by, and we actually ended up recording a lot of his information, and we actually had a lot to talk about. So it worked out.
So hopefully you guys like it, and spoiler alert, we're going to have him on the show again.
Yeah. Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
All right, enjoy the show, guys.
Thanks.
It's show? Is it show? Is it a movie show?
It's slowly fading out in the music right now.
Yeah, that's fine. Half that you're gonna have sex with, and then it's just you're gonna wear that. You're gonna have the Oculus Rift head on, and you're gonna be like feeling fake breasts and pumping into a lady, and it's just gonna be like Sailor Moon on her back.
All right, well, welcome to episode 4 of the podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Phil, and our guest today is Jake Jarvi.
That's me.
Creator, writer, actor of the Platoon of Power Squadron. Director,
yeah.
Color corrector.
Yep. VFX guy.
Special effects guy.
Occasional boom operator.
Script supervisor.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
No. It's
Devoted
a pleasure.
Husband.
It's a pleasure to be here for episode 4, A New Hope.
Yeah. Well, now that's what we got to call it.
Yeah. We were going to try and do every episode as the name of a terrible TV sitcom.
Like 80s or 90s
Well,
sitcoms. Things that we
that's
grew
good.
up with.
Perfect Strangers.
But because we didn't...
That's what episode 4 was originally called before it got booted.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
was
what
it?
it was called.
But then
Perfect
I felt
Strangers.
bad because we already came out with like 1 and 2 and we came up with this idea. And then
I still feel like we could still do it. We could start at episode 3 and still do it for a long time.
3 was Full House. Did you name it Full House?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
It
Nice.
showed up right in my little podcast
4 could
app.
still be Perfect Strangers.
Well, see, the thing is, it was perfect because we had already talked about doing that, and then we talked about Full House in the episode. So I was like, okay, it's perfect. And now he just talked about Perfect Strangers.
Boom.
Without us even telling him to do it.
I can't wait till we get to the Murphy Brown episode. I'm just gonna say.
Don't spoiler, man.
Spoiler.
Do your noise.
Is that the spoiler noise?
Yeah.
I did. You gave the spoiler warning on episode 3. And as soon as you started getting into Walking Dead, I was like, skip 15 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 seconds, 15 seconds.
We should have.
And I heard one little snatch, and I was like, God, I hope that's not what I think it is.
So we were gonna do it for realsies. Like I was gonna do a little thing that we recorded afterwards, where I was like, "Hey, this is the spoiler. Go ahead, 5 minutes." The thing is, though, in the episode, he goes, "Okay, we're gonna talk about this for 5 minutes." We talked about it for 4 minutes and 59 seconds, like exactly.
I just guessed.
And so I was like, maybe I don't need to do it. Maybe if they skip ahead 5 minutes and nobody's listening at this point, so it really doesn't matter.
But people will listen to the old eps, too.
No, I know, but do you think we should go back and be like, hey, spoiler alert, jump ahead 2 minutes.
Safe bet.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, especially if you get spoilers going on in the original in more episodes now. Because then I would have just hit the 15-second thing 6 times and been...
Also, too, like, if we talked about a game that came out in the last couple months, we definitely would. But
well, yeah. Walking Dead's been out for a while, but then, this is why it's weird that you guys have me on your gaming podcast, is, I'm a very casual gamer. I love video games.
Stop trying to keep us on topic, Jake.
No. I will do that.
Yeah.
but I love video games. I've played them ever since Nintendo came out. Not came out. I wasn't, we weren't rich. It was it was shortly after that I got Super Mario Brothers. What?
You had friends, though.
No, not that had Nintendos.
Okay.
No. My cousins got one, and I played a little bit of Mario, but they wouldn't let me play too much because I was really slow and kept getting, I couldn't jump on things.
Your Mario moved slower for some reason?
Well, because I was scared to move forward because the thing would get me.
Yeah.
I was a very timid gamer to start
Sonic
with.
must have blew your mind.
Well, at that point, I'd played plenty of Nintendo.
I was going to say, were you still trying to go slow with Sonic? I can't make it around this loop.
Yeah, you just keep going up and falling down.
I loved... Genesis was like my heyday. Yeah, Genesis was my Genesis.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am glad to be here. I've enjoyed your guys' episodes. And
Bullshit.
I look forward to hearing you guys talk a lot about video games. If anytime you kind of come towards movies, I'll have plenty to talk about.
Yeah, that's why that's what we're gonna try to talk about today. Is we're gonna talk about storytelling in games if you want to, and
Sure.
like movie adaptations both ways if possible. We were talking about it for a minute before you got here, and we couldn't think of any good.
Let's
movie
not jump
adaptations.
ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Well, and I was a game tester.
Yeah, I want
Well, we
to.
want to talk about that too. Okay, let's get a real structure here going.
Yeah, let's start. I would like to say, you just got back from the streamies.
Well, yes. Okay. You didn't finish even saying your thing before I started interrupting you. I direct a web series called the Platoon of Power Squadron. That is why I'm here.
Yeah, and you're our friend.
And I am friends with these two goofballs.
You can swear.
Yeah.
Okay.
you can swear.
Well, like I said, my mom's gonna listen. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you just want us to swear so you sound good by comparison.
Yeah. I'll be like,
God
it
damn
was
it."
Chris, Ma.
Yeah. I'll edit myself saying swears over your voice.
Well, that sounds great.
The Platoon of Power Squadron was nominated for the streamies.
Yeah, for best indie series.
And you got to go out there.
Yep, went out to the Streamy Awards. They had a pre-show where they announced things that didn't have like super big YouTube celebrities. They saved that for Sunday night. On Thursday, they did a whole bunch of other awards like acting and web series awards and best indie and everything, which was a lot of fun. There was free pizza, open bar, like people were having a grand old time. Did not win. A really good web series called Little Horribles took best indie this year. But
Don't give them any free press.
We're gonna cut that out.
they're really good though.
Yeah.
But we we had a great time. Yeah. Me and my buddy Rob, who was in the show, he lives in LA. He let me crash on his floor while I was in LA. And then I went to the Streamy Awards on Sunday night, which was swank. It was like a full-on red carpet event. I had to pay $17 to valet park my car.
I thought you were gonna say to get in.
No. I got in for free, and the food was great. The bar was fully open. Everybody looked amazing except for me. And then it was outstanding.
Were you in the t-shirt and jeans?
No.
And, everyone's the black tie.
I super dressed up. There's a picture of me at the Streamy Awards on Getty Images now.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've clearly made it.
Yeah. No, you're on Getty.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Let's get a little gaming history for you, Jake.
Yeah.
We started with it. You did NES.
Loved NES.
Was that the first system you owned?
First system I owned was, yes, the Nintendo. And then I saw What About Bob, and he had a Game Boy in it. Charlie Korsmo had a Game Boy in the movie What About Bob with Bill Murray. And I was like, Mom, I need a Game Boy. I need it. And she was like, okay.
The way kids need stuff.
Yeah.
Gonna die.
This is, I will not make it
now
to my
that
next
I know
year.
this exists,
Yeah.
I can't exist without
So
it.
I got that,
Yeah.
played the Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle game.
Oh yeah, I still have that game. Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd love to play that.
Yeah.
Bust up right now. You can play during the podcast.
During the podcast,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome. And of course, the Mario game that was on there, Tetris, of course. And yeah, so Nintendo to Game Boy.
Then Genesis.
Genesis, I needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needed it. NBA Jam was the most played. And then I played a lot of Sonic, of course. A lot of Jurassic Park.
Yeah, that Jurassic Park game.
Is that the one where
was
you're the dinosaur,
okay.
or you're the guy who's walking around?
You could be Alan Grant, or you could be a Velociraptor.
Oh, that's the platformer essentially.
Yeah,
left
it was,
to,
it
left
was, it
to
was
right.
a scroller.
Okay, because I'm thinking of the Super Nintendo one, Jurassic
Which
Park,
is- it
where
was
it's
like a
overhead,
sim sort of thing.
it's top down, and you
Yeah.
walk around with a shotgun.
Like a Zelda situation? Or?
It was I wouldn't compare it to a good game.
I've never played Zelda, so.
Oh well.
What?
Okay, well,
Okay,
Zelda's
that was episode 4 of the podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
No, I
Jake.
played one Wii Zelda game, but that didn't. I don't think that counts. I've watched some
Not
people
if
play
it's
Zelda.
your first and last.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to do my child education on you and just force you to play all games from my childhood, which I'm gonna do to my firstborn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just be like, Jake,
She'll
you
be a
have to
very
play this
unhappy girl.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a dude. If it's a girl, I'm just gonna be like, Caitlin, you raise this one. I'll get next.
I'll get next.
I'm
Except until she gets an easy bake oven, then Phil's just hovering.
Oh yeah, you done with that cupcake? It's not even real, Dad. You can't put Play-Doh in there. Whatever.
Yeah. Genesis, awesome.
Yeah.
And that is when I stopped for a while. That's when after Genesis, I went to school and then I went out to LA and
So time frame wise, Genesis, this was
I'm
high
sorry.
school.
yeah, no,
For
Genesis
you.
Genesis was junior high. Genesis
Okay.
was junior high. And then my friend had the N64. And that was... I probably logged more hours on that than the Genesis. Just on his couch in the basement. They loved GoldenEye, but they beat me so badly every time.
Yeah.
Like, it stopped being real. Unless we were playing with, like, the golden gun and I could get the lucky shot. Like, it was miserable time for me. I was Smash Brothers. Loved Smash Brothers.
Good
Loved
game.
Pod Racer.
Yeah.
Mario
Kart,
Kart, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Pod Racer, to me, was more fun than Mario Kart.
See,
Scandalous.
for the N64 version of Mario Kart, I really like doing the battles more than I did the races.
See, and I sucked at battles. It was like GoldenEye all over again. And
Yeah.
these guys were coming at me, and they had all of their balloons, and I had none.
Yep.
You know,
Just
like
sitting there as the bomb at the end.
yeah. I'm just and like I couldn't even find them on the map most of the time. Like,
We're playing the same game, guys?
yeah, are you guys on a different?
They somehow switched to GoldenEye, but you were still the bomb
Yeah.
in GoldenEye.
They gave you a recording of them playing earlier, and you were
That's-
just sitting in front of a TV.
So there it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on a monitor somewhere.
Yeah.
So then you stopped playing.
But then, when you were out in LA, though, you worked for THQ, is that right?
Yeah, I did. Well, yes, but prior to that, like if you were going to do full game history,
Yeah.
My girlfriend had a PlayStation 1.
Okay.
And so I played that occasionally, mostly Driver. I played a lot of Driver so I could direct the
Driver.
replay.
Yeah.
No,
No Tomb Raider or anything?
no, at that time I did not play Tomb Raider. I became a Tomb Raider addict later. I don't know if that's lame to you guys.
No.
Tomb Raider's known for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, well I didn't know if it was
Boobs.
like, well sure, there's that, but like it's fun too. I think it's a lot of fun.
Well, their idea when making the game, they said they wanted to make Indiana Jones with a girl.
It's perfection.
So that's why I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll check this out.
Perf.
Yeah.
I'll check this out. My mom won't be cool with this.
Yeah.
Still watch me play, Mom.
Just really awesome blocky boobs.
Right.
That you,
Well, that's the thing. At that point, it's like not offensive. At least
Yeah.
I don't think so because the graphics are so bad. It's
Yeah.
not like an actual.
No.
woman or
I
anything.
think in the Wayback Machine, people might take offense to that because they just
Oh,
feel
yeah,
like,
no, they
this
did.
is the best graphics they're ever going to be.
They did. But I'm
Oh,
just saying.
well, no, it looked amazing at the time. You
Yeah.
were like, oh my god, and she moves not side to side, she moves forward.
Yeah.
You know, like, but so there was that, and I played Harry Potter on that system as well. There was a Sorcerer's Stone game.
There's I feel like there's some time missing in the timeline here.
No. Well, yeah, no, because
Related to Harry Potter.
she had her PlayStation from
Oh, because that
way
was
back
like,
when.
okay.
I was playing this in like the year 2001, 2002. You know?
Yeah.
PS2 was like already out, I
Yeah.
think, at that point. And so we ended up getting one. And I just used it to play more Driver 3 at that point. And I like driving games a lot, so I played plenty of driving games on that. And then I started playing some of the older Tomb Raiders to like catch up. And then I got my job at THQ, which was amazing. Until
So what did you do there exactly?
okay, I was a game tester at THQ in California. I just responded to an ad. They have the ad all the time
Was
in
their
the
offices
paper.
off the 405?
No. It was up on the 101. It was in Agora Hills.
Okay. I'm thinking
And
like Jam Dot or whatever.
They
has
were
that.
very conscientious about like top secrecy. They had to protect the
Yeah.
Nickelodeon games. Like
Did you sign NDAs?
we did. We
Okay.
signed NDAs when we started working there. We didn't have to sign one for each game.
Well, no, I think they usually last like 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you punched in and out with a hand scanner.
Super high tech.
It was super cool.
Yeah.
Like
we thought you were like a secret agent.
We thought it was super cool until you realize at the end of the day, there's like 1 million testers in the building, and there's 2 hand scanners, and you have to stand in this line to go home.
Oh, yeah.
And the
You know?
one guy in front of you was eating a lot of Cheetos. So
Yeah,
now
it's
you gotta,
nothing
like,
but Cheeto dust on the hand
it's just
scanner.
Mountain
smeared.
Dew.
Like it registers me as like him because of the fingerprints
Yeah.
from the Cheetos.
They're so used
and
to
that's
the
how you
Cheeto
committed
dust.
crimes using his fingerprints.
Yep. All because of THQ. No. But like I tested games for PS2, for the Game Boy Advance. I tested games for Xbox.
Which games do you remember? Any of them?
Yeah, I tested my first game, and it made I was so excited about it. My first game was Evil Dead 2: Fistful of Boomstick.
Okay.
Evil Dead: Fistful of Boomstick.
Right.
And I was like, this is the job for me because I love the Evil Dead movies. And at that was the height of when I loved them too. Like prior to that, I just watched them on repeat, all 3, over and over. Commentaries, all of them. Read Bruce Campbell's book, and then I get on that game for PS2. and I'm going around making like real insider things, like the license plate should say classic.
Yeah.
You know, like, like,
Right.
like that's my bug note.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're just like,
Yeah,
who the hell is this guy?
it's like a must fix bug, you know, like
Yeah, like priority 1.
Yeah.
You know, like, but so like I loved that, but I came in halfway through that game, so we were.
which is probably the more fun part. As
Much
far as
more
testing.
fun.
Yeah.
Because when you get on a game at the beginning, it's super buggy. You can't even play through it. It's nothing but like.
And it's like a screen that says this will be a cutscene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like nothing but like weird collisions, and you can't even maneuver through the maps, and things don't connect to each other. So it's like very discouraging. And then, as they're developing that game and registering your bugs, you are on it for like 6 months, playing one game.
Yeah.
10 hours a day. Sit for 6 months until like the last month. Then they start pulling you in for OT, like, and you are doing like 12-hour days.
Right.
So like it's an 8-hour day usually. Then you're getting like 12-hour days, but they're buying you dinner and stuff. But you can barely see the game anymore.
At that point you just hate it. It's like saying a word too many times. It loses all meaning. You don't know what you're doing or why.
Yeah.
And
And
I think it's crazy is too, is because like every kid when they grow up, just like you got to test video games, it's a dream job. But then when you realize it's one game for your entire
for like 6 to 8
Yeah.
months at least. That's just for
and then you're
testing
just
it.
like, you better love the shit out of that game.
absolutely.
Anybody I know that's tested a game will never play it once it comes out.
Yeah, no, but you get a copy too.
Right. But
Like,
you just,
and you just take it straight to GameStop and be like, "This is unopened."
Or use it as
Can I
like,
get
you know,
credit?
you put it up as like a trophy,
Well,
on
sure.
your mantle. So
Well, but then you go to the used games like a month later, like a couple months later, and you can still open the booklet and see your name in it as a tester.
yeah,
I was on a game called Sphinx: The Cursed Mummy. You guys ever hear that
I've
one?
heard of it. Is it the PlayStation game or?
It was for PlayStation and it might have been for Xbox too. But Sphinx: Legend of the Cursed Mummy or whatever, and you play as this little like Egyptian guy, and then as a mummy. And you can like set the mummy on fire to do puzzles and stuff. It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I still hold the record for getting through one of the mini games the fastest.
Nice.
No one else could beat me on it. So I have that going for me. Put that on the old.
But
res.
that was before the internet. Too, so, yeah.
Yeah. No, it was during the internet, and like somebody like mimicked my thing on a chat room board. They were like, "Oh no, if you do this and this and this, like like my friend can get through it in this amount of time." And it was like my time, and I was "No."
Was it somebody you knew?
And then I found out it was somebody in the room. It was another tester
Yeah.
who was like baiting the players.
Yeah.
I tested a Hot Wheels game. I tested a Nickelodeon game for the Game Boy Advance. Testing a Game Boy Advance game for a really long time is even more torture.
Well, just using that controller for so long, it just really hurts your
Carpal
hands. They
tunnel.
cramp.
Yeah.
Like the way your hands have to like configure around it, especially as an adult where your hands are bigger, it just doesn't work.
No, and then there was one game that I especially loved to test though. This was a lot of fun. It was for the Xbox. We had these green consoles, like tester consoles.
The dev kits, were green.
They were so awesome
Yeah.
looking. And we locked them up at the end of the day and everything. But it was a game, and I wish I could remember the name of it. And maybe you guys can help me out. It was a military game. You moved as a unit.
Oh, that one?
No. But like it wasn't like you're just one guy. You can be different team members in it, and you're doing like real military stuff. It was right when we were going into Afghanistan, and they used it to train soldiers too.
I want to say, well, there's like, I'm trying to think of around that time. There's
But also
like
that
Spec
THQ
Ops,
came out with.
There's like America's Army. I don't know THQ.
I don't know. Can
we look
was
it
like
up?
American Soldier or something. Look it up?
I'll look it up. You guys can keep talking though.
Okay.
And then I'll just chime in.
Well, the thing that was great about it is that you like it was pretty clean even just from the jump, and you would go around and there would be some bugs here, there are collisions, whatever, or you can get into this area and then the map evaporates.
Yeah, you fall through the floor.
Yeah. But it was the game became how well can you blow up your soldiers. And then we'd because you tape it all day too to like prove bugs.
Yeah.
So like we each had a TV with a VCR and everything, and we would try to get the craziest way to kill our own troops, and then we'd compare notes at the end of the day, which was a lot of fun. And I have a VHS tape that I made for Eliza my wife Eliza, when she was still my girlfriend, like I was trying to show her what I did with my day.
That'll get her hot.
Right? And I like made this little thing about like, so like I had me testing in the room and everything, and then I had like 3 of my crazy kills. And I wanted to like offer that as like, if you go to the website, you can see this tape from like 2005, but I don't have a VHS to digital conversion. So.
Is it Full Spectrum Warrior?
Full Spectrum Warrior. That is what it was.
Nice.
It was that was awesome. Yeah, and that game actually was very well reviewed when it came out. One of the few that I was on that like people were like, yeah, this is a really fun game.
Yeah.
Full Spectrum Warrior, because you had to do the whole suppression fire thing. You had to really work your way through.
It was like a military simulator rather than just a shooter.
Yeah. It was really cool. But I did that for like 2 or 3 years, before I got called into the room and been like, "You're not.
Oh, really?
You're not logging the bugs anymore, man." I was like, "Yeah, I stopped caring about this."
Yeah.
But I still felt really bad. It's like the only job I've been like actively fired from.
Yeah, I guess you're also so replaceable in that job.
You said, I mean, they always have the actual notice out there, like hiring new people. So I can't.
Yeah, no, I mean it's constant turnover.
Yeah, because they expect people aren't going to do this as a career.
Well, and you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Well, but then
there's
there's the thing where you do like you go from being like a temp tester, like you're always impermanent, right?
Yeah.
You're temp tester, but then you can become like permanent tester, like, and you can get to that level, then to supervisor, and then you can go to first party, and then like.
The problem is though too, it's such a crapshoot. You don't know what game you're gonna get.
No, it's true.
So if you sign up to be a tester and it's an awful game, you're just, I'm never gonna do this again. So
yeah.
It can be that way.
Not everyone can test, like, I'm testing the first Halo, or I'm testing something where it's, like, truly going to be groundbreaking.
Yeah, but I landed on, like, Fistful of Boomstick, and I was like, this is the greatest job in the world. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
Was there like a quota, like, everyone needs to log, like, 20 bugs kind of situation?
Well, I mean, they start with, like, being, like, you know, get as many bugs in as
just
you can.
Just to see if you know what you're doing, also.
Yeah, and at the start of every game, it's just nothing but, like, everybody's throwing bugs in, you know, and then you're entering your own bugs, too, so, like, you can see if somebody's already logged it or whatever. But then the further you get into a game, it became another, like, insider's game where you'd be like, can you find the most testerish bug?
Yeah.
You know, like, what's the craziest bug you can find?
Right.
If you walk into this wall for 30 seconds and then turn around and switch into your inventory.
Right, that's the thing. It's one of those things that people find out while playing the game. It's like, how do they do this?
Right.
It takes like 35 minutes for them to set up a situation just so they can break a wall.
Well, but the thing is, too, like, that's part of the fun of being a tester.
Oh, yeah,
and, like, if you found, like, a really testery bug, people would be like, oh, man, it's a tester bug. Nice. Like, when in the Sphinx game, like, there's a thing where you, as the mummy, you could, like, take this potion or whatever and turn yourself into a bat to fly over some portion.
Yeah, bat potion.
Yeah, bat potion.
We've all taken it.
Yeah.
This was my favorite tester bug that I found. If you took the potion and turned yourself into the bat, then I flew up over a beam and waited to transform back to the mummy, you fell through the world.
Nice.
Yeah. So, like, that took me, like, half a day to, like, find a really testery bug.
Yeah.
And then everyone's just like...
And then I got fired for some reason.
That's weird. Then you just put your controller down and walked out.
It's the equivalent of dropping the mic, is you just put the controller down gently, and then you walk out.
Yeah, well, that costs money. They'll take it out of your paycheck.
Yeah, that's why you gotta do it gently. I mean, those dev kit controllers can't be cheap.
Yeah, no, because then you have to hand scan your way out of there, too.
At the time, were you using the big Duke controller for the Xbox? The big...
No, it wasn't a huge guy. It was a normal Xbox controller. But we did have the dev kits.
Yeah.
Which were sweet looking.
Which they later on did release as a special edition.
Did they?
Yeah, because it was
awesome.
cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like after THQ, I mean, I didn't have much in the way of game stuff going on.
Well, you probably wanted to get away from gaming after testing for 2 years, so you probably took a nice little hiatus there.
Yeah.
Was the next console the one that you had the Wii?
We had the Wii.
Yeah.
We got a Wii for our wedding. My wife and I got a Wii for our wedding, but my mom got one first, and we played like Garage Band as a family. We loved playing Garage Band and not Garage Band, Rock Band. Yeah, Rock Band. And
you could still play Garage Band,
or Band Hero or any of those. Yeah.
Sure. but Rock Band, and then like Beatles Rock Band, and playing a lot of Dance Dance Revolution with my wife and my sister. And then we got our own.
Those are two different people, by the way.
Yeah, that's not a slash.
Yeah,
that's a comma. But I.
Sorry.
No, it's good. That's good. And so then when we got our own, we also got Mario Kart. I played a lot of the new Mario Kart.
Yeah, because you had the wheels and everything. I remember
Oh,
the
yeah.
first time going over there, just like, wait, they make wheels.
If
You
you're
gotta
gonna do
play
it on
with
the
the
Wii,
wheel.
you gotta use the wheels.
Yeah.
It's the way to go. And then
Which is basically how my dad played every racing game, even before the Wii.
sure, you got to turn the whole controller.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, perfect, good work.
Well,
Dad.
that was the thing we were talking about too, with like the Wii and like with Kinect and everything. It's like we've been for 25 years. We've been trying to get people to not do that while playing games,
And then
now it's like, okay, no, you're supposed to do that now.
Yeah.
Now that we finally stopped that habit.
Yeah, you're not supposed to turn the controller. Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
you're not
now
supposed to
turn your
lean
body.
every time you turn.
But I, like a lot of people hated, to my knowledge, a lot of the internet hated Wii Mario Kart.
I think you could
It's
you
the
could preface
internet.
that sentence with the internet hated and then put
Okay.
in blank.
Anything.
You'd be like, internet hates electricity, and
Sure.
you will find people who are just like, I wish we could go back to the candle days. And it's like-
Yeah, but it's not on the internet because you gotta use electricity.
Well, no, they could still hate on their
Okay,
on the
yeah.
internet. for
Yeah,
using
it's
it.
like, man, I would give up this internet life if only we could go back to horse and buggy.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved Wii Mario Kart and downloadable Tetris, competitive Tetris, where you can like block other
Competitive
people
Tetris,
and
yeah.
stuff. That's a lot of fun. And then yeah, so like that was pretty much the Wii experience until a buddy of mine got me a Xbox for my birthday.
That sounds like the coolest guy I know.
Yeah, yeah.
If only he could do something with this podcast.
Yeah.
He's a really cool guy. He's really cool. Yeah, I've also have his copy of Alan Wake for about a year now, year and a half.
And you finish it. You're just sitting on it.
I just love it. I
Yeah.
just don't want to. I don't want
Did you
to.
do
Don't want to
the-
buy my own. I want his.
Did
Yeah.
you do the DLC for it?
No, I haven't yet.
Yeah, well, that's
Or-
why you're holding on to it.
Yeah.
Also,
That's
there's
what-
the other game too, the arcade game. You should get
I
once
want-
you're done with the DLC.
I
go
want
to.
to.
The next
American
one.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to. I love Alan Wake.
Well, that kind of transitions us into the next topic too. What are you playing recently? In the last couple of years, what have you been playing? What are you playing?
A lot of Angry Birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play a lot of Angry Birds.
Star Wars or just regular?
I play
Or
Seasons.
Space. Space is a good
Seasons.
one. I like Space.
I like Seasons because I like to see like I wait like I play the other ones just to get to Halloween. You know.
Are you playing on your phone or are you playing
On my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. But like so in addition to that, since I got the Xbox, Alan Wake was my big obsession.
Right.
Loved it forever. Started playing it again right after I finished it instead of moving on to a new game. BioShock, loved BioShock. I know like
Yeah.
when did this come out? 96?
Yeah.
Yeah, before you were working at THQ, Bioshock came out.
Bioshock came out in 1982. It was the summer of 2007, I believe.
Yeah.
Phil
So
still hasn't played it. I want to talk about that, especially.
original BioShock?
haven't played it yet.
Phil.
I know he's too busy playing, open season and pocket bug racers from Burger
I
King.
beat those Burger
Wait,
King.
I know.
I walked in on you playing BioShock 2.
Yeah.
to get that one achievement, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you're doing?
long story short, I won't bore you with the details, but there's a contest on TA, which is a website we've talked about.
Yeah.
Where it's just to start as many games as you could, and then see if you can.
Then go back and
Yeah. So
now I recall that that is what you were doing.
Yeah,
You told me
basically
that.
I started like every game, and then just.
and he's still.
So you started BioShock 1?
Yeah, I started Bioshock 1. I did like the whole like here's the plane crash and here's the world.
Oh
and
god,
stuff.
that game is so good.
So good.
That game-
Well, we will talk about it again.
Okay.
We'll try to avoid spoilers, I guess, just because Phil's in the room with us. But
That needs to be a movie.
but
that
that
game
now,
needs
like,
to be a
that's,
movie.
Dude, that's this whole other topic. Trust me, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
You guys can still talk about it.
No, I know, but we'll get there. Is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
I'll just leave the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
For,
could go sit in the bathroom.
So like I love BioShock. Like the one that I've been playing lately is Arkham Asylum. I've been
Okay.
playing Arkham Asylum,
Which is great.
and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's just really, really awesome. And my wife and I love the Tomb Raider games. So like
Right. You played the reboot.
we played the reboot. Well, it's not even a reboot, right? It's like her earlier. It's prior to game
Yeah,
one,
it's
Right.
where like she
But it-
kills for the first time. And,
Yeah.
and then she loves killing.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, so we played most of that, but it's not as fun because it's not as puzzly. It's all like
Okay,
it's
two
all like
shooter?
adventure game.
Yeah.
Which is fun too, and there's fun aspects to it. But it's like my wife never wants to hold the controller now. Like when it's a puzzle game, she'll
Okay.
play and like we'll hand off and like really participate.
Right.
But like in that game, I'll be like, okay, I just killed that whole group of terrorists. Here, like your turn. She'll like walk around a corner and be like, you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Climb up this rope, knock this box down. Yeah.
kill everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Tomb Raider games we loved, and another big one in the last few years was for the Wii. and it was Super Paper Mario.
Yeah, of
Loved
course.
Super Paper Mario.
Yeah, you should get into the Lego games because those are good to play with Eliza. Like,
Yeah, we've been
cooperatively.
talking about it.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I can give you pretty much anything but Lego Marvel. If you want to do Lego
Rock Band.
Batman, Lego Indiana Jones.
Lego Indiana Jones is like the best game.
Well, sure, but say the one that you know we want to play.
Lego Harry Potter.
That's the one. We like that. She said to me recently, like, we should play Lego Harry Potter.
Yeah, I'll give it
Which
to
is
you.
fine. Then you should go into it, but it's not the best of the Lego games. I'll tell you that. Right
But we
now.
love Harry Potter,
Right,
Chris.
right. No, that's
You
fine.
really,
No,
like,
that's
love
fine.
Harry
No,
Potter.
I'm just
Enjoy
saying.
it.
I'm just saying. If you after you play it, don't be like, oh, I loved Harry Potter so much, but I didn't love this game, so I'm not going to try the other ones.
Yeah.
Because Lego Indie is where it's at.
Well,
Which is
I
weird
believe
because
it.
they hit their high point. Lego Indiana Jones like the third one.
Right.
It was
and
like
then Lego Batman came out after that, so you're like, oh, well, that's going to be even better then, and it was not.
Yeah, it's like Lego Indiana Jones, and then it's just like nope, and then
Yeah.
the rest kind of.
Until Lego Marvel again, which is
It's supposed to be pretty great?
I've played the demo and I loved it. My
Okay.
other friend, that's all he played. When he got the Xbox One, that's like the only game he played. I'm like, dude, there's like other new games out. That's all he played. And Phil's just started playing it now, and he
Yeah,
loves it.
me and Caitlin love it.
Oh man.
Just because like it's first of all it's the first Lego game that we've played that has voice. I know that they've been voiced in the other ones, like Lego Lord of the Rings came out and it's got
Yeah.
voice and stuff like that. But they finally actually have like actors doing voices.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's not something that
It
goes
was
on.
just pantomime before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like Lego Indiana Jones is just like, you know, they recreate the first scene, but as opposed to like anyone saying anything, it's just like more.
But it's,
Oh, okay.
it's all just, but it actually
Sure.
works, especially with Indiana Jones. For some, and they like add jokes into it too. That's the thing. Like you kind of have to have seen the movies to get some of the jokes.
Sure, but like now that the Lego movies come out, it's like you can't avoid voices anymore.
Yeah, now you can.
Well, they started before that, but yeah. Now
Yeah.
that they figured out how to do it, it's.
But so they have this huge cast, and it's like over like 100 characters. It's just like all like the little name people. You're just like, wait, I can play as
which they do for Harry Potter also, but it's
Yeah.
more interesting because they're all superheroes with their own powers and their own like puzzle solving abilities and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are the X-Men on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can do like my
because
favorite
like that's
characters-
Fox. Like that's Fox.
It's-
That's different
yeah.
licensing.
Well, no, it's just Marvel licensed their thing as a video game. It's different than licensing for the movie. It's not
Okay.
like
It's not spread
not
over
like,
studios.
It's not like the Avengers, the game,
Right.
Sort of
Yeah.
thing.
It's Marvel game.
It's just
Yeah,
Marvel.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's like you want to play as Gambit, Gambit's in there. You want to play as Wolverine, you want to play as
Toad.
You want to play
Hawkeye?
Spider-Man?
You want to play as Hawkeye for some reason?
Yeah, why would you
Well,
want
he
to do
was
that?
He was part of the Avengers.
He was part of the Avengers, and they make you play a big portion as Hawkeye,
Oh,
and you're
really?
just
Well,
like,
that's weird.
come on, no one wants to play as Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Sorry,
But,
Renner. Yeah.
Well, and they try and make them look like the characters from the movies because
that's-
it's still recent.
well,
so
sure.
like you play like Wolverine comes out, and you're just like, that's Hugh Jackman. Like I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Black Widow is awesome in Under the Skin, by the way.
That's why
Oh.
she's naked.
Yeah.
Oh, Phil, I guess that's where your mind goes.
Yeah.
But come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant sci-fi film, Phil.
Yeah, okay.
I guess if that's all you remember it for.
His mom's listening to this. Well, I don't know why you're talking about that.
My bad, guys.
Yeah.
No, she's not naked. She's a talented actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
definitely great at whatever she does.
Whatever it is actresses do
Yeah, whatever.
when it's with their clothes on.
Can't say
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, boys.
for sure. Should we get back on topic?
We don't have to.
Okay.
While we're still
this is a
off
topic.
topic, you were talking about indie. Did you see that this is a movie aside. Did you see that they released a 125-page transcription of George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and Larry Kasdan coming up with Raiders of the Lost Ark?
No, but where is that and how do I get it into my face?
I will Twitter it to you.
Okay.
It's called Twittering, right?
Yeah. He has a problem with saying things about Twitter too. Not really, but I like to make fun of him for it.
Okay.
Well, I've never used a Twiter, so
I have 40 pages into it, and it is
Out of-
dense. Out of 125, dude.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You watch them come up with it. It's really
Yeah.
amazing.
That's pretty cool.
And long.
Is there any diagrams? Because I'm really a
No
picture
diagrams. No diagrams. So you really like the early Lego games.
He's really where it's just you're just building Legos.
Yeah. Yeah, where you buy the Legos at the store.
guy. And then you open up the instruction book and just like take 4 of these blocks and put them here.
But the way he makes it a game is he yells at Caitlin and tells her what to do. No, that piece!
Sure.
Yeah.
That's good.
4 single
Yeah.
white blocks.
I said L shape! You're calling them out by their actual numbers. Like, oh, that's 3847! I said 3842!
Does anyone know the numbers besides people who work at the Lego factory?
No, but they used all the actual numbers.
Yeah,
in
the
the
Lego movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that.
That's adorable.
So you could order those parts.
Yeah,
If
if
you
they
want to
still
build those
exist.
machines. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they reprinted like all those just for the movie.
So yeah, we were super into Legos as kids, and when they were going, like, sometimes they retire certain pieces, either certain colors or certain shapes and stuff. Like, my mom would go to the store and just buy a bunch of them. Like, we have like little canisters full of just Lego pieces. Never used them.
Yeah. Well, eventually you'll need them.
Yeah.
When you build that Lego house you're gonna live in.
Yeah. It's called a fort, but yeah.
My bad.
Also playing The Walking Dead Season 1. I have not made it through all of Season 1 yet because I'm a very slow game player. You guys know this about me. You can barely have a conversation with me about video games.
Right.
Because it takes me so long to play a game. But,
I'm in the same boat. I only play games 20 years old, so
Yeah.
I think we're
well,
okay.
no, I mean, like,
I'm just getting
right
through
now.
Sonic 1.
like every once in a while, like I'll be done with a big project that I'm doing, and I'll take a couple days and get to play a game for a little bit, or like I'll be fed up with a project and I'll play a game for like an evening, you know. So like it takes me a long time to get anywhere. But The Walking Dead is just awesome, and I think I forget which one of you. It was one of you guys who were like, "You got to play The Walking Dead."
I think it was both of us.
Yeah, I mean, I think when the first,
Did you guys gang up? Was it a gang
I
up?
remember when the first episode was free because it was free for a while.
Oh, yeah,
I sent you
Yeah.
a message just like, "Hey, it's free. Pick up this first episode," and then obviously go from there.
It was the first time I had played a game where like you were making decisions that counted.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like it wasn't just like, and I understand that these certain beats are going to happen no matter what, but you're changing who's with you. You're changing
From
like,
your perspective, everything is
Yeah.
organic.
you're making the
Yeah.
decisions, and it is just so much fun.
Do you, when you sit down and play, I know you haven't gone through the whole thing, but do you play an entire episode at once?
I don't get to.
Okay.
I don't. I maybe every once in a while.
Yeah.
Every once in a while I do. If it's at the end of a project and I have like devote a full day to it, I'll play like a couple actual full pieces. But most of the time it's like a half piece or something.
What
Like that.
do you know where you're at right now?
Yeah, I just put it in the other day because Eliza we had friends over and she was having them like try and see if they wanted any of her wardrobe. So I had this like long period of time.
Yeah.
So I was just playing. I just turned on The Walking Dead and I'm at the hotel and I don't know, is this spoiler stuff?
No.
I mean,
I'm at the hotel. Everybody is angry right now. She like the one lady wants to stay, and my buddy with the kid and the wife
Kenny.
wants
Kenny,
to go.
Yep.
they're
And-
pretty far along.
Yeah. Is it? Am I almost done?
I think yeah.
I want to say you're episode 3. I don't want to.
I think
No,
I'm further than
hotel-
I'm farther than
hotel
episode.
doesn't
I'm
count to
I'm like in
5.
like 5. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm like in 5
I'm
or
thinking,
6.
what's the okay?
How many are there?
I know it's like a church or something. What has the boathouse attached to it?
What?
Right next door.
Spoilers.
No, that was like earlier on, right?
I don't.
Maybe
you know,
not.
Wait, are
it's
you
been
talking
so
about
long.
the farmhouse?
No,
Yes,
I don't.
I'm talking about the farmhouse. That was earlier.
The farmhouse was great. That was earlier.
Okay, yeah. So okay, you're late. You're farther on than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the hotel is at. I think episode
I don't
5.
want to leave yet, but I know we're gonna leave. Like I keep trying to convince everybody to calm down.
Yeah.
I try
Maybe it's
to
4.
try to
Maybe
tell
it's
them like we all just need to be friends. Everybody
Yeah.
stop arguing. It's hard enough in a zombie world without
Yeah.
us fighting.
Right.
But they don't listen to me.
I was gonna say, in this, we don't.
Trying to avoid spoilers.
No, I'm not trying to vote. I was just gonna say, like, what? Can you think of a particular moment that just kind of like blew your mind?
Yeah. The very beginning blew my mind when I didn't have time to respond to it before the car hit the zombie.
Yeah.
And we went off. Another mind blower for me was having to choose between the one guy and the one girl
In the supermarket?
supermarket.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah, that
chose
was
one
crazy.
and you chose the other. Like, that's when I was like, okay, you can change things
Yeah.
with your decisions. Because you played the whole rest of the game with the character that I let die.
Yep.
Now, was this before Caitlin was playing half of it and you would play half?
Yeah, this is. She didn't play Walking Dead. She just
Okay.
watched me play
Because it
Walking
was
Dead.
too intense. Because like the
It was-
the leg.
It
Scene.
was
Oh my
too.
God.
It was too intense for her. The leg scene.
I loved
Killed
the leg
her.
scene. I
Yeah.
loved it.
She had to leave the room. We always sat down. We played on a Saturday or Sunday so that she'd be home and she'd watch me play the full 2-hour episode or whatever, how long it's gonna take. leg scene's right in the
Did
start.
she help
of an
you make
episode.
decisions too? Did you guys make decisions as a team?
No, most of the time I'd make decisions.
And she'd be like, "You're a fool."
Yeah, and she'd just yell at me. When we got to The Wolf Among Us, which is a different Telltale game that I also suggest you play at some point.
You need to play that game.
Okay.
Once you finish Walking Dead, that should be your next game.
Okay.
But that we played as a team. But yeah, the leg scene, she I started it and she just got up and she left and I paused it and I'm just like,
are you coming back?
I was just like, are you just going to the bathroom? And she's just like, no, just finish that part,
right? And
then you can call me back in.
And you're gonna like when she hears this podcast too, she'll be like, could you please talk about asking me if I'm in the bathroom more on your podcast?
Yeah, well, she'll get over it. Yeah. I'll sleep on the couch for a couple nights, and then we'll be back to normal.
This is pre-wedding, though, man. This is pre-wedding.
Yeah.
All right, you're rolling the dice on a life right now.
Really? Because I would think afterwards that she would be like,
she's locked
punish
in.
him more. Though.
No, she's locked, but she's locked in.
Yeah.
Then you can say whatever you want on the podcast.
Well, oh, you know, I won't say anything.
Yeah.
I'll just.
It's a good transition, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me tell you about my wife.
Yeah.
Let's get into that. I would say, so, do you have a reason why you play games? Do you play games as a way to, like, escape
Don't
or
lead the witness. Just let him.
All right,
let him answer.
my bad.
That's interesting.
So that's one of the things that we're thinking about asking everybody is why do you play video games? Is there a reason you play video games? Do you know? And I'm sure it's changed over the years. Mm-hmm. But like right now, why do you play video? Why do you like video games?
Well, I think it's interesting to talk about the way it changes too. Like wherein you start playing video games because it's a whole other world that you're in charge of. For me, it was like I cannot experience this world in any other way but to play this game, and it's at my control. Like I am responsible for the decision making here, and I can do it. I'm in control, and I can get better at it, and this, that, and the other. Now, it's a way of. It's twofold. One, I am a big movie guy. I'm a big TV guy, but anytime I watch movie or TV, I am also engaging in it in a different way, into where I'm kind of like analyzing it, and I can't I can kick back and watch stuff, but it's not the same. Like it's a different environment sitting back and playing a video game.
Yeah.
Although for horror games, it's far scarier than watching a horror movie.
Well, yeah, because you're controlling it.
You feel like you're that person. And you don't want to die.
No, and I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Like I can't watch how they deal with it. I have to deal with it.
Yeah, you can't criticize them. You can't just be like, "Don't hide in the closet."
Yeah.
You idiot. You're just like, "I'm hiding in the closet."
Why am I? Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Yeah.
Where's the closet? Why can't I open the door?
And even for like games that are like conventional horror games that I know millions of people play, I'm still like Alan Wake scared me. Like I was scared of like the chainsaw men in the woods. Like they come out at any time.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Well,
like, I don't want to see it.
Hearing the sound
Yeah.
of it can trigger it.
And the sound design in that game is so terrifying.
Well, I think that's a good example because that's an actually really well-made game, and even though it was delayed for so long, but like Alan Wake does stir up, like because you have to run through huge portions of forest. Where you're just like, where's the nearest light?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're just like, I don't have any ammo. I don't have any flashlight.
Yeah.
Like I just need to go, and you just like start to panic, and you're like,
hey man.
yeah. Like I want to go. I see something twinkling in the distance, but I don't have time for that. And you just
Right.
like make a beeline for the overhead light.
Really scary.
Yeah,
And then like the times where like that light breaks.
right, or the generator goes
no.
out.
No.
You're like you're sitting there, you don't know where to go, you can't see anything but darkness, and the generator is like flickering off.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
it's like,
God.
oh come on.
Just gonna keep running, I guess.
See, that's the thing though too. Like with this spoiler
For Alan Wake, I mean,
Bioshock?
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, for Bioshock?
Yeah.
Just say it.
Well, I mean,
can always go back
well,
and
no, there's a
No,
situation.
but you haven't played
There's
it.
a situation, and it's early though too. Maybe
Okay.
you already played it when you were just starting every game. There's a situation where you walk into a room where there is danger. You've heard the danger. You walk in, you see the danger, and all the lights go out.
Yeah, I've played this part.
And
Okay.
I'm like,
Doctor?
no!
With the doctor?
Oh, look at it with the doctor.
water?
I was
Oh,
like,
you
no,
played
I don't like
Yeah,
this.
okay.
I don't want it. I don't want to play anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I was so scared. The doctor.
I remember playing the Bioshock demo. And the first demo was just basically that little tutorial at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
And I was in the little bathysphere, and that first splicer showed up, and she started ripping through the bathysphere trying to get to me, and I was like, I do not have the tools to deal with this right now. I was like backing up into the corner, like looking up, and I was looking around. I was like, I do not have the tools to deal with this.
Just turn the game
But I was like
off.
actually scared. I wasn't thinking like, oh, obviously I don't have anything, so I can't do anything to her.
Yeah, they're
It
like,
was
what are they expecting to do?
I know.
Like,
yeah.
there must be something in here that I can.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's like a mark of a
Which button's
well-designed
punch?
game.
Which
Right.
button is punch?
When you're not thinking about it.
Because when you
The game
just
design.
transfix and you're just in that game
Yeah.
and then something happens, that's the mark of like, obviously if you're playing a game that's completely garbage and then you're just like, oh, there's the shotgun or something like that, and then like something comes at you and you're just like, whoa, whoa, whatever, it doesn't
let me
matter.
ask you a question too. Like for that, like
Guess
getting.
don't ask
Yeah,
questions.
come on.
Yeah, oh, no, I'm doing it. Like if you when getting the like absorbed in a game thing,
Yeah.
do you find it affects your absorption level for a first person versus a third person game?
No.
No,
No?
I can get into Wheel of Fortune if I'm playing Wheel of Fortune.
But that's kind of is that third person or first?
I know what
person?
you're saying.
you
No,
have
I know.
attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know what you're saying about first person.
Like
versus
Alan
third
Wake,
person,
Alan Wake
especially-
versus Bioshock.
especially versus horror games.
Yeah.
And I will say, when I really noticed this was playing Dead Space.
Okay, I've
So-
never played it, but I know it's
But
horrifying.
you know, and the thing is, it's third person, right? It's a shooter, but it's third person.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when I thought about it and made the distinction that I think third person is oftentimes can be scarier.
Oh,
They both
really?
have their own benefits, but third person is often scarier because you can see them coming from behind you and stuff.
Oh, really?
They can throw them at you at different angles. So like you'll be going somewhere, you'll see like a vent pop in the corner that you couldn't see if you were just like this, and then
Right,
you know,
but you
or
could
you'll
hear
see-
it.
You'll know somebody's about to grab you the second they're about to grab you, but you can't do anything about it.
But see, then there's the thing of like in first person, and I keep referring to Bioshock, but those menacing things are looking at you.
I know, yeah.
You see them look at you.
But I'm saying there's scare tactics for different versions. Like I think they're both equally effective.
All right.
Yeah,
You?
I mean, to me, I can get involved in a first or third person. Alan Wake, the same, scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And that's a fully third-person game, and even though they're not looking at you, it's still terrifying.
It is.
Right. You see your own guy there. Like if he dies, you see him die and stuff. So
Yeah.
you feel bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that will take me out of first person is if they have that like giant HUD on
Yeah.
the screen where they're just like it shows you how much ammo and how much hit points you have. Because then it's
Yeah.
like, all right, if you wipe that clear and it's just my eyes, then it's completely different than I'm just like I have 32 bullets and I have 6
Yeah.
bars of health.
So-
And yeah, just like
What's interesting too is the thing about the HUD is that most games when they first demo them or show them, there's no HUD at all. And it's usually because they don't have the assets yet, or blah 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 blah. But it's more cinematic, and it's always more fun to see games that way. Like I wish I didn't always see like you have to know sometimes you have to know bullets. Or
Right, but like
stuff.
so if
But
you,
it's so much better if you don't have it. The only game that I know that's actually come out that way is the King Kong game that came out with the launch of
I remember
360.
it. I had that.
Which was not a great game.
no.
But the fact that they give you no
had a
information
PS2
on
though.
the screen was a lot of fun.
yeah, it came out before the 360.
There was nothing on the HUD at all. I don't even think there was a compass, and like items wouldn't highlight. Or
But could
anything
you
that
pull
could
it
pick
up?
No, there was nothing on the screen ever.
You couldn't pull up a HUD.
Not that I remember. No.
See, because I feel like you should have
Like an
access to it, but
inventory
it
or
shouldn't be
something?
forced on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh, how many bullets do I have? Like click on the HUD.
Right. It was supposed to be like you're surviving in this world. I think sometimes like if you try to throw a spear and you didn't have a spear, there'd be like a little icon and be like you don't have a spear.
That was kind of Jurassic Park style, where you could play as Adrian Brody or you could play as King Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King Kong and Jurassic Park.
No, Jurassic Park you could play as the Raptor.
Yeah.
Or you could play as Alan.
I was gonna say for
Grant.
another HUD game, I want to say, and I can be wrong in this, but it's a game called 13 for the original Xbox, and it was cell shaded.
Yeah.
I think the way to check your ammo is your guy looks down at his gun and opens it like it's a revolver, like
Oh,
a 6
cool.
shooter.
Yeah.
So he opens it and he sees
If it's
there's
a
5
slower
bullets.
paced game, yeah.
And then you know there's no 5 in the corner. He just always has to look down to see how many bullets he has, and there's a button to specifically check ammo.
See, that's
Which is
fair
great.
game.
Yeah, so then like you could not have any bullets and you try and shoot and then it just makes the click and you're just like, oh, should have dropped this weapon a long time ago.
Right. In theory, I like that, and I wish more games would do that. But it only works in certain types of games, certain
Yeah.
pacing, certain genres.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if they could figure out how to do HUDs that are less invasive, that would be cool.
Cool.
So, is there any certain genres of games that you drift towards that you like?
Well, yeah. I mean, I like the I like the puzzle adventure games. I like being able to like switch between having to kill something and having to figure something out. I think that's a lot of fun. But like lately, it's been like, but you guys have been bringing me games, you know, like, and it's that Alan Wake, BioShock. I'm kind of lumping them together where there's like a quest and a story, very story oriented games, where like your understanding of the world develops as you play it, and it's a deeply designed world and story, and I think that's outstanding. Like even Arkham Asylum is like bringing you things from Batman that you may not have known, or like taking them other places, and then doing really weird like hallucinogenic things too, which is awesome.
Scarecrow sequences are so fun.
Cool. Yeah.
And just the character designs for all the I mean, I think they nailed it.
It's the best Harley Quinn it's ever been.
Well, and Poison Ivy. And
absolutely.
Like, even like Killer Croc, which is like, how do you do a Killer Croc? I like that version the most.
Yeah. Although his level got a little tiresome to me.
Oh, the level wasn't great. I'm just saying the actual character design. Like what everything looks like.
You've played Arkham.
No. He doesn't play any good games. He doesn't play good games.
It's a good thing that he's on this podcast.
I know, right?
So I can talk about them. I can talk about all the shitty games.
I will say, though, since we've started this podcast, 40 Quarters sort of made you play shittier games. Like, that kind of got you into a worse habit. So since we started doing this podcast, you've been starting to play better games. I don't know if they're related or not, but I would like to think they are, so you have something new and better to talk about.
Listening to your guys' podcast has made me want to play these games. Like, I've been like, I want to play Saints Row 2 now. Like, I really want to play Saints Row 2.
THQ did it.
That's a THQ game?
They at least did the first game. I think they did the second
they did the
game.
second one.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's way past my era.
See, that would have been fun to test.
That would have been, I feel like that would have been impossible to test. There's just way too many things to do. You're just like,
what, if I'm doing anything wrong, you're just like, okay.
Well, you go around and you test collisions for like 8 hours. You know, like, I'm going to go to this end of the world. You guys go over to this end of the world.
I'm going to drive the fire truck. You're going to drive the dirt bike. I'm going to drive the Subaru.
But when you're a tester, too, like, you get into a thing where, like, you start missing really obvious stuff. Like, our manager...
Because you're staring at the corner trying to see if you can break it.
Yeah. Our manager, like, went through into another world loaded, he went back through the door, and the game froze. And none of us found that. It was like one of the last bugs found. Like, because we had gone through that door a gajillion times, and it worked. Yeah. But when they go to fix this one bug, all of a sudden they mess up the load for the other thing.
That's testing of any kind, even if it's not video games, or you're just like, I fixed this, but we had to change some code here, and then you don't realize that something refers to that code, so then you broke something.
But like a hard crash. I mean, like, like Eliza loves Luxor. The Luxor games. A lot of fun, just shooting the balls, like different patterns. But Luxor 3, either 3 or 4, one of them, I bought for Christmas, Luxor game. The end level hard crashes the game.
Oh, really?
Hard crash. You cannot finish that game. So you have to, like, erase your data and play the game over. Just so that you can keep playing. Or, like, try to... You cannot finish the game.
No, I think that's a well-designed game.
It
keeps you coming back for more.
Yeah, so you think they intended for that
well,
to be
it's kind of like the old, like NES games and stuff, where it's like arcade style, where it's like you can't finish the game. You gotta do all in one sitting.
I want to talk about a certain game, but I think we're going to get to it with one of your other questions. So I'll save it.
There's a new horror game that's coming out, The Evil Within. I don't know if it comes out for the 360. It does. It does? Okay.
So I've heard.
Well, let me ask you guys a question before you get to The Evil Within. Like, you are video game guys. I do not know this information. Once a new console comes out, Xbox One comes out. When did it come out?
Last November.
Okay, last November. So, how long do developers continue to make games for the 360?
So it depends on obviously the console cycle. Like, obviously when like Nintendo 64 came out, like Super Nintendo was pretty much shut off,
right?
Because it's a whole group switch. When Xbox One came out, they said that they were going to continue developing for the 360 for like 3 years.
No, I think they said 10 years.
10 years?
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if that meant from the start of when the 360 came out, but I heard 10 years. I heard we're going to keep coming out with games for... They're going to support the console. I don't know if that means coming out with new content or just making sure that the services are still up, that the patches are still happening. But,
well, like, I mean, any game that was in development before the Xbox One was released, they're going to do like on 360. So like...
But like if a new game is being developed for the Xbox One, they're not going to do like a 360 version.
Most of the time, they won't go back unless it's a really big game where they feel that they need,
Okay, so this is like, you're probably going to cut all this out because this is like video game players know all this stuff already.
No, Caitlin and Emily don't know that much about video game development.
And they're the only two other listeners.
No, that's the thing. For like, it's like a year or two, there's like carryover.
Yeah.
Because one, a developer's been making the game for a long time, so they usually make it for the 360 and then port it to the one or PS3 to 4. or also they just go back and do it just so because they know that the install base is so much higher. They're going to sell a lot more games on the console that's been out for 8 years.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
But if if they built it from scratch with really good technology, sometimes they're not able to go back.
Yeah.
Obviously, this isn't as big a problem for like a guy like me who has all the games ever developed for the 360. I've played 4 of them.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'll be able to play games forever.
That's my shelf. It's my shelf. I just look at it and I'm just like, oh, I have Arkham and Bioshocks and all these games.
So that's why you don't play them, so that you can play them in the future and be happy in the future?
That's the thing. He wants to get rid of the bad games first, but he's never going to stop playing bad games.
Not true. The truth is that if a game was single player only, a game that doesn't require connecting to the internet, I was just like, when they eventually shut down the 360, which they will, this game will still work perfectly because I won't have to connect anything.
But no one will want to talk to you about it.
Nobody wants to talk to me now. Like, there's no difference between like people being like, "Hey, listen to this podcast. They're talking about Saints Row 2." Like that's not. People aren't going to be like, "Whoa, holy shit, Saints Row 2."
Saints Row like 5's coming out.
Yeah. So like we're pretty far in the past.
There is a mini game in Saints Row 2 that I'm talking about like QA. Where you just run in front of traffic and then go limp to get hit by cars. It's called insurance fraud, and you try to get money. You try to rack up the most amount of money from getting hit by cars.
That
but
sounds
it's all
pretty
just
awesome.
a physics-based game.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You can break that pretty easily. Where all of a sudden you get hit by a car going like 2 miles an hour, but for some reason it just catapults you.
Well, there's a thing called adrenaline. If you get hit enough times, you get adrenaline, so you can then fake the injury where you just throw your body after you get hit.
So, tell me about The Evil Within then. What is that?
So The Evil Within, it's a new horror game. It's coming out by the people that made it's the creator of like Resident Evil, the earlier ones. Like he did Resident Evil 4 was the last one he did. And it's Bethesda who did
Fallout.
They did like Fallout, and they did. I think they did one. They're doing the Doom. They did Wolfenstein, all that stuff. Anyways, so it's like horror based. It kind of takes place in a mansion. Part of it. Yeah. There's a lot of puzzle solving.
Okay.
So, which I think you'd be into, but it's like horror. It's supposed to be like really scary. He wants to get back. The whole horror genre has kind of gotten away from horror and more into action adventure.
Sure.
So people have kind of been upset about this, but this is supposed to be like a return to
flat out horror game.
Yeah, and I saw some demos of it. It looks pretty cool. I think you would like it. And the thing is, there's a like antagonist is a ghost that will show up. Like if you're like going through the mansion, shit will get crazy for a second. Lights will turn out, things will explode, and then the ghost will show up. And all you can do is run. You cannot hurt the ghost.
Oh my god!
So he just slowly walks towards you down the hallway. And you gotta like run or figure out traps and like get away from it. And like every time you open a door, I don't know if it's like you can get around this, but it's like he slowly opens the door and like looks through it. So like even when the ghost was chasing him, he had to slowly.
No, that's inappropriate.
Right.
That's first of all, that would never happen.
Right. I think there's got to be a thing where you can like bust through the door. And there's another thing too.
I don't know that I'd be able to handle this game, Chris. It sounds really scary.
So like there's like this one person, like you're like walking in a room and there's just like a sheet hanging from like a line, and there's like a person cutting up bodies on the other side of it.
Nope.
And you're like,
I'm leaving.
Around?
Yep, I'm leaving the room.
You whistle out on your way out.
But another thing too is because they're like sort of like zombie whatever. I don't know exactly what they are, but like all of their games are kind of zombies. Is you have to set bodies on fire or they might come back to life.
Oh, sure.
But you only have like 3 or 4 matches in the level. So you have to like decide which
you
bad guys.
accidentally drop it in its chest cavity and the lighter goes out.
So, damn it.
That sounds horrifying.
But yeah, you should look into it. It should be fun.
All right. That one's going to be for the 360?
I think it's for the 360 because I think it's been in development for a while.
Yeah,
okay.
But that comes out October.
Yeah.
Super scary sounding.
Does Alien come out for 360?
Isolation?
Yeah.
That I'm not sure about.
I've seen previews for that. That looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, and my buddy played it at San Diego Comic-Con, and he says it's awesome.
Sure.
This is exactly what you want it to be.
Sure.
He only
Aliens,
played like
Colonial
a
Marines
15-minute
too.
demo. Yeah, right.
That's what I wanted.
See, the thing is, like, I feel like I'd be more able to deal with like a full-grown alien than a face hugger. I think a face hugger would freak me out more.
I wonder if they're in the game.
They've got to be.
Oculus Rift Facehugger.
Nope.
2012.
Not okay.
I don't know why it's coming out 2 years in the past.
No, I don't
but
either.
it's a great game. And it's just walking around with the facehugger on your face.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So you just see suction.
Just
Close
feeling it
suction.
impregnate you. Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds great.
All right. Well, we're at about an hour, so we probably wind this down a little bit. But
sure.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking to us.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we didn't get to actually talk about the topics that we kind of set aside for you. But,
if you want to come back, we can do that again.
That sounds awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So promote your stuff.
Oh, I am Pops Jake Jarvi on Twitter. Platoon of Power Squadron is searchable on YouTube and on Facebook. That is my main project as of right now. But I'm mostly... And I'm Jenks37. I'm Jenks37 on Instagram.
Where did those numbers come from, by the way?
We can talk about that later too.
Okay.
Like this is one of those things
We'll
where I
talk about
don't
that off microphone.
Yeah, he's like I don't want people to use it in court against me.
Okay.
Yeah.
37 pedophile cases against you.
Yeah.
That's because it was 33 for Xbox, but then you killed 4 more people.
Yeah.
So it's 37.
Well, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Jenks33 was taken on Instagram.
Okay.
Sure.
So I did 37. But yeah, so that's Instagram, but I mostly interact with people on Twitter or on YouTube who are commenting on my updates. I do weekly updates for the show or on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we...
Pineapple Boy Films is the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Jeez, all right.
Jake Jarvi!
Enough.
My name's Jake Jarvi.
We are on Twitter, not fun podcast. We also have, obviously, our email is this isn't fun anymore podcast@gmail.com.
And that's also the website, which is thisisn'tfunnymorepodcast.com. You can find the episodes there.
And if you download the podcast app, like the one that I have, it'll just download them right into your pocket.
Wow.
Yeah, well, that's why iTunes is the easiest way to get it to people.
Yeah,
If they subscribe to it.
Yeah.
And then also we are doing a 24-hour game marathon this year.
Yeah, it's going to be around October 25th. We haven't exactly gotten the date, but that's probably when it's going to be.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's really close to you getting married.
I know.
A week.
Caitlin has given me the go-ahead that I can do it.
Solid.
Assuming that obviously nothing like major comes up.
Sure.
Obviously, if like the 24th comes around and they're just like, you don't have a tuxedo, then I might not be able to.
So you got to start doing your prelims right now.
Yeah.
We can do it earlier if you want to.
Well,
wait, isn't it all happen on one day?
It's ideally you can do it beforehand.
No, you got to do it on the day.
But the day is ideal.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what is the login stuff for that? For the
you'll find the links on the website. It's like a crazy number sort of website.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and you'll be tweeting it all day.
You can search for it. It's Christopher Davis is who it's under.
Yeah. If you just go to the Extra Life.
Yeah, go to Google, search Extra Life, and then you can search a person on Extra Life, and it's Christopher Davis.
Yeah, or you can go to the
website.
website.
Don't have a thing?
You can go to the website, thisisn'tfunnymorepodcast.com.
You have to sign for a name, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're super famous, you could be like, this is Rooster Teeth.
What was yours last year?
Mine was Phil Chester's.
So we're not doing it under Phil Chester's again?
You
guys aren't doing it under Phil Chester's
again? Because he wanted to do the wedding and all that stuff, and he didn't want to. He's like, I don't want to have to deal with all the planning and all that stuff. So it was like, if you do it, we'll do it together. But
gotcha.
So so if you go to the website, it's under the contact info, or it's at the bottom of the page. It's the first post we put out.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that's all of our stuff. That's your stuff. We'd love to have you back. Obviously, we've talked about that.
Yep, and I will be back. I'm actually going to stay here until you guys come back to record with me again.
Okay, it'll be about a week or two.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Is there a blanket? No.
We'll get you something.
All right.
Yeah.
There's some beer bottles we can fashion together.
That sounds good.
Beer bottles are basically a blanket, right?
Yeah, that's like a hipster blanket.
Blanket for all your problems.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and let us know.
That's that, cat's pajamas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How's that, pajamas?
We gotta get T-shirts made up.
Yeah, I'd say let us know if you have any questions. Tweet us, email us, blah, 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 blah,
If
blah,
you're
blah.
listening to this, will you just respond in any fashion so we know somebody can hear us?
Yeah. That would be beneficial. Even if you just tweet us and say hi.
Yeah.
And you don't even have to say you've listened to us. Just send us a hi.
Right.
We'd love that.
Send us a hi. Or
Well, sure, but you're putting this at the end of the podcast, so you'll know that if you've listened to the whole thing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
This is a test.
This is tough. Yeah. All right, guys.
All right.
How's that, Cat's Pajamas? Signing off.
Never gets old.
It's how's that's cat's pajamas?
Yeah, it's
How's
so many
that's
S's.
cat's pajamas?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like how we're just sticking with that. I just said that in a drunken stupor one episode, and
You
now
set
it's
the
just,
precedent. We're
now-
never gonna think of anything funnier than that.
And now it's how's that's cat's pajamas.
Yep.
All right.
Enjoy your burrito, everyone.
I wish.